Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful day. And yeah, great insight from Bobby Rahal on that last interview, and definitely looking forward to here in the next little bit to pick Kevin Harvick's brain. And I mean, he's into everything. He's done everything. I mean, it's like it's just I think we're really honored to be able to have him be a part of our industry week.
Thank you for joining us,
So,
Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Good to be here.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you, sir?
Well, so far so good. I'm on day 3 at the banquet, so I'm getting close to the end of everything that we need to be doing, and my driver commitments will officially be over.
I mean, I was thinking this morning when I got up, I said, how do I talk to a guy that I have watched come through NASCAR my entire life? I mean, like I say, I've watched you since you showed up with Ron Hornaday and know about you and watched you and the evolution of your career. And now I'm seeing you hang up your helmet. It's like, no, he's got too much. He's too young. He can't be doing this. But when you look at the records, you've earned the right to say, hey, I want to do something different. I want to take on some new challenges. Does it seem like it's coming to an end, Kevin? I mean, is it what does it feel like right at the moment?
Yeah. So, well, I guess the first thing that I'll tell you, it doesn't really feel like it's coming to an end because it feels like a normal off season at this particular point because of the fact that as the season ends, you go back and try to tidy things up and put all the pieces together to be organized and restructured for the next year. And for me and my family at this particular point, it's a lot of projects that we've been working on for the last year and a half in anticipation of getting out of the driver's seat and moving on to the television booth with Fox and moving our businesses around to restructure and reorganize
Mm-hmm.
and so at this point, it feels like a busy regular off season, and I think for me, it'll really start to set in when I get to the Daytona 500, and I'm sitting at the top of the racetrack and watching the cars go around, and not in the garage, trying to execute the plan of what we think is right to go out on the racetrack and be competitive and try to put yourself in position to win a race. So it seems like business as usual right now. It's been a lot of work to kind of balance everything as we got through the end of the season with everything that you have in front of you. And but it's been worth it to go through the last season and get out of the car and do things how we wanted to do the things that we did the last season, and that was
Mm-hmm.
tell a story over the 30 years of racing that I was able and fortunate to do and have some success and tell old stories and have fun and on to the next chapter.
If you're a little bit like me, you're so busy looking forward, you don't look back sometimes and reflect on that. Did this past season, with what you just said, did it give you time to relive some of those moments a little more in depth than what like I say, when
Well,
you win a race, like, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
we win. Oh yeah, but now we got to go here. But you never
right.
really get to sometimes absorb it. I mean, and you got big wins, Daytona and Indy, it's like this. I mean, man, you've won all of the big ones.
Well, for me, I was fortunate to have a boss in Tony Stewart that had some great advice on the things that he liked and didn't like about his last year of driving. And one of his biggest pieces of advice was, hey, let your guard down, let the fans and the racetracks and the sport just go back and help you tell that story and
Mhm.
just enjoy it. And I think for me, that was not something that I would typically do, but we took that advice, and last November we sat down and said, okay, we want to tell a story of the past 30 years. We want to be able to let the tracks and the fans celebrate whatever moment it is, whether it was a win, a loss, um, whatever it was, and to hear those stories and go back and see the pictures and stories and celebrate the moments and really just let your guard down and not worry about, okay, we won a lot of races here. we didn't win any races here, whatever that was, but just take it in for that particular moment was definitely worth it. And I think the fans enjoyed it. I enjoyed going back through all the footage and pictures and different moments that we've been fortunate to have throughout my career. So Stewart Haas Racing did an amazing job of with all the content and all the things that they were able to put out on social media, and the helmets and paint schemes. Everything told a story, and every week it was a story that was thought out with a sponsor or a track or a moment, and they did a great job putting all those pieces together.
I wasn't planning on bringing him in at this point in time, but since you said this like you did, how about your son Keelan? Did he get a kick out of this? Because again, he wasn't around and wasn't, he was really, really young in some of your great moments in your career. But for him to see Daddy's career, did that make him prouder of you? Did it make him appreciate anything, or you mean, what did he get out of it?
Yeah, well, I think for me it was a unique year. So Keelan spent the first half of the year in Europe racing go-karts, and so he came home at the end of June. He would go over sporadically as we went out to race wherever we were racing. So the unique part of that was I got to spend a lot of time with Piper, who is 5, and she's old enough now to be able to take a lot more of it in. So there were a lot of weekends where it was just Piper and I. Delana would stay home, and Keelan would be wherever he was racing in Italy at the time, and or off racing his legend car and doing the things that he was doing. But as we got to the second half of the year, Keelan was done in Europe and came home and raced here in the U.S. in his legend car, and we spent the last 3 weeks of the season everybody together going to the last few races of the season. But NASCAR is a unique sport. Your kids grow up in the motorhome lot and around the race cars, and this, Jeff. I mean, it really is. And racing in general is something that you pass from generation to generation, and Keelan has fallen into that category, and he races more than I do. So we try to balance that as much as we can, and he goes to they're both homeschooled, so you have to you balance the racing schedule and the school schedule, and but there were a lot of moving pieces, and our kids are fortunate to be able to. I basically took him to work with me, and when Keelan was younger, I literally took him to work with me. I'd take him in the garage, he'd stand up on the trailer, sit on the pit box, and you can't do all those things anymore in the current environment. But what a great place to raise your kids and watch them. They get to watch you work and also be around a lot of great people in the racing world.
No, that's well said, and I want to take you back, and you probably will not remember this, but this is one of the things that I admired about you. Not just your driving ability, but your insight. When you had KHI, you and I were up in, we were racing Dover, and I had heard that you were getting ready to close down KHI, and it's kind of like, why? I mean, man, you're kicking butt. You bring in great talent through the deal, and you told me then. You said it's too much work. I'm busting my butt here on the Cup side trying to earn money and turning around and invested in this company, and I feel like I'm like a hamster on them wheels. Just I'm running and running and running and running. I'm not getting nowhere. I'm going around in circles, and I've got to get control of that and downsize and do something different. Ever have any regrets for doing that? Because I thought it was an unbelievable smart move at that time, because anybody knew back then how difficult it was to make money in racing without spending money. It was hard to do.
Yeah, well, I think at that particular time we were very, very fortunate, and really KHI started really. I hadn't won a truck race, and we wanted to win a truck race. So in 2001, that's when we started KHI and went on to I think we had 2 or 3 Xfinity teams and 3 or 4 truck teams, and at one point we were putting probably 11 trucks on the grid. We built all those trucks in our shop, start to finish, chassis, bodies, parts, pieces, had all the CNC machines that built all the pieces and everything to go with it. So it was a huge machine, but racing in general is a 24/7 job if you want to be good at it. You have to evolve with the sport. In order to evolve with it, you have to constantly think about it. And I think that from the driving standpoint, currently, that's the part I'm looking forward to the most is letting go of that competitive piece, that competition mindset. But as an owner, you have that competition mindset. You have the responsibility to go out and get the sponsors and do all the things that came with that. So when I went to change jobs and we started a family and we had 140 people at that particular time working at KHI, and it was more than we could manage. And at that point, the focus was really, hey, what do we have to do personally to make ourselves better, to put ourselves in a position to win a championship? And we thought that moving on from KHI at that particular time was the right thing to do. We sold our house, moved, switched teams, and pretty much purged everything in our life in order to start a new process and put ourselves in position to fix and correct the things that we thought were wrong from our personal standpoint, in order to be better when we showed up at Stewart-Haas Racing. And obviously that paid off, and we were able to win the championship and win a lot of races. And it was a great second half of my career. So but yeah, I love the race team. I love the pushing of moving the pieces around and trying to play the game and mix and match people and try to do better than the guys sitting in the next garage next to you week in and week out. But the evolution of it is constant. And I always told our guys on the race team, even today, it's evolve or die in racing. If you don't evolve with the sport, you're just going to get left behind. And in order to do that, it's a lot of time and money and effort to think about all the things that you need to be doing.
Well, I think that's a good way to segue into what I think is also kind of fresh on everybody's mind. And I think you're probably about as pumped up about that as anything, probably. And that's the Cars Tour. I mean, big announcements, not only the fact that you announced you were a partner, but now you've got a major sponsor in zMAX. And I mean, tell me about that. I mean, that idea that you're, I don't want to, I'm gonna be careful. I don't use this word and get myself in trouble, but you're supposed to be retiring. And it looks to me like you're just turning the page and changing a different gear. And, you're still going to be heavily involved in racing, not just broadcasting, but still say hands-on.
Yeah, well, I'm retired from driving. I'm still going to work, and I love racing. I mean, we're a racing family. My wife grew up in racing. I grew up in racing. It's given us a great life. And every time I try to go do something else, I just screw it up. So, we've stuck to racing and know that's the business that we know. And we try to do everything we can to make the most out of it. And, I think the Cars Tour venture with Dale and Justin and Jeff has been very good for me to learn from the ownership side of a series. And I think when you look at our first year, the biggest thing that we had to do was not screw it up, because the Cars Tour is a tour that Jack and has built over the last 10 years, and late model stock racing in the Southeast is alive and well. And for us, we had a great first year. We did everything that we wanted to do. And now as we go into 2024, you start to see the small things that everybody's been working on come together, and adding a title sponsor like zMAX to the series just continues to hopefully build on that credibility that we're trying to give our competitors and teams, a stable place to race, but also a place to where, that if you show up, you're going to get some great competition, some great exposure. And that's basically what we've tried to do, is use our platform to help the grassroots racer be able to learn how to be a professional. And as we go through next year, I think, as I mean, a lot of people think that you buy the series and we're just four guys that are hands off, but we're as involved in the day-to-day operations as you could possibly imagine. And it's been really fun. We have a very unique group of owners that sees things from I think we all have our strengths and see things from a different perspective, and I think that's that's been fun, because it's fun to hear what somebody else is seeing, and what they think about a certain situation. So but the Cars Tour is something that we all have a passion for, and I think that shows through in the things and that we do and talk about, and all of us are very involved, and when we speak about it, we know what we're speaking about, because we've been dealing with it day in and day out. So it's been a great start to hopefully 2024, and adding zMAX and everything that we've done with Kip and coming into to run the series is just continues to add on the credibility that has come with the Cars Tour.
Well, that being said, I mean, I've got to say, on a personal note, I was excited to see your schedule included 2 trips back to North Wilkesboro, and including your season finale up there. To me, I think that, North Wilkesboro belongs on anybody's circuit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a great racetrack. And I think with the improvements they continue to make up there, I can't wait to see the Cars Tour back up on the new pavement and everything that they've already done since the last time you guys were there.
Well, North Wilkesboro and Marcus Smith and his group have just been great to work with, whether it's the zMAX side of things, or being able to lean on them for advice, or both trips to North Wilkesboro. And when you look back at everything that's happened at North Wilkesboro, the Cars Tour is it's a big part of that. And with running their race that they had there to kind of reopen the racetrack, and now having 2 events there with a facility that's been completely redone from top to bottom for the most part. So it's for us, we wanted to end our season a little bit sooner. Late model stock racing has 3 or 4 big races at the end of the year. So us ending our season, hopefully that'll give those racetracks a little bit of time to breathe. And for us, we've been trying to work as much as possible with NASCAR on their late model stock program to kind of go hand in hand with the Virginia Triple Crown races, all the races at the Icebreaker at the beginning of the year, the Fall Brawl and the 400 and Thanksgiving Classic and everything that late model stock racing has at the end of the year. But being able to end at North Wilkesboro for us just goes right back to that credibility of the series, and being able to have a huge short track event, at the end of the year at North Wilkesboro to end our season is something that we're excited about. And I think when you hear the feedback and all the things that we've had so far with our competitors, they're obviously excited to end the season at North Wilkesboro and have that be their championship race. So having the racetrack embrace that and want to have that year-end event with great promotion and the things that the competitors deserve just makes our job so much easier, because of the fact that they're so tied into wanting our series come to the track. So being there during All-Star Week allows our guys a huge stage to be able to perform in front of truck teams and cup teams, and we have a lot of eyeballs watching on that particular week, and having our championship race at North Wilkesboro just adds one more layer to that.
Yeah, and to add one other thing there, that ever since this announcement was made and the schedule came out, I've had a lot of people that live in Wilkes County. I mean, they're jumping up and down because they feel like, here again, we've got a great event in May, but now we're able to go into kind of like that community's area. It's the fall time, so you got a lot of tourists coming through that want to go to the mountains in North Carolina, and they've got an event that they can plan for and be a part of. I mean, the community itself, I mean, I think they're buzzing about the fact that you guys are going to be there in October, and I think that just adds even more, I think, to the buzz that you've got going on. You got that community, really wanting to support you, so I think you're going to get huge crowds right there for the event.
Well, the community in North Wilkesboro is the reason that the racetrack's still there, and there's a lot of race fans that just love racing, and they had a very deep passion for the racetrack and stuck to their guns and were able to get the racetrack back to where it is. But we're fortunate as a series and really as a racer in general to be able to have something that really sat there since 1995, and now it's back to what it is today. So we need to protect our short track system, and North Wilkesboro is something that really nobody ever expected to be back. And now you look at it completely repaved and redone and everything functioning. And really the community is what makes it happen, because we have to have those butts in the grandstands to sell tickets and keep everything functioning, from a financial standpoint, and people showing up to watch the race is what it's all about. But they've had no problem supporting any of their racing so far. So that is definitely something that we're excited about, for North Wilkesboro, because the community, the racing community, is so passionate about any sort of racing that shows up at their facility.
Jeff, you're on mute, Jeff.
I've got moving around too much trying to check on something. I apologize. I was trying to see how many people had sent your chats. People are talking to us all the time. But where I was going with this, what about this latest edition? Not only do you have the Cars Tour, but you got a track to run them on now. Is that correct? You're getting ready to buy a racetrack, or you're buying a track?
Well, we're part of the group that is taking over Kern County Raceway. It'll be Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway with Tim Huddleston and his family, who currently run Irwindale. And when Tim approached me about the project of coming in to help take over Kern and try to get really Kern Raceway back on the map in a weekly way, with weekly competition and having some big events and doing the things that has always been supported in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is a racing town. For me, it's my hometown, and it's something that I want to be a part of and see succeed. So to be able to be a part of that group and hear Tim's ideas and see what he's done at Irwindale to bring that to Kern is something that we're going to work hard to do our part to bring as many people and sponsors and attention to the racetrack. And I think when you look at the facility, it's in my opinion one of the nicest short tracks in the country, and it's kind of a hidden gem that needs to be exposed to the world, and hopefully we can do that.
Well, I'm sure with your help, you'll be able to get that accomplished, because I've never seen you take on a project that didn't turn out to be positive. Congratulations on a tremendous career. Thank you for everything you've done for the sport that I love dearly. I mean, spent my entire life in, and you've been a great part of it, fun to watch. I continue to want to watch you as you move your career into the television booth. Don't take no crap off of Boyer next year. And good job with the family and everything, Kevin. Like I say, it's just been a pleasure. Really, really do appreciate you taking time up there up in Nashville to spend some time with us here on EPARTRADE Race Industry Week.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Registering on EPARTRADE is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to EPARTRADE.